Welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another malicious compliance Reddit video. In our first story, call the maintenance guy when you want to open the gate. Let's jump right in. Years ago, I lived in a trailer park, manufactured home community. They were nice trailers, but they were still trailers. During a summer where I inherited my dad's little fishing boat, I was informed I wasn't allowed to park the boat in our driveway. It fit completely in the driveway and did not hang out onto the road. When I mentioned that this rule was nowhere in my lease, they said, "Oh, the rule was just changed this year. It'll be on your next lease." And it was. I asked what they expected me to do with my boat, and they said, "There's a community lot at the end of the block where tenants are expected to park their trailers and boats. You can park it there for free." Great, that'll free up space in my driveway then. I decided to play along instead of fighting it, and when I went to get my boat out of the lot that Saturday, the gate was locked. I impatiently stomp over to the office telling them I wasn't told the gate would be locked, and I wasn't given a key to get my boat out. "Oh, the residents don't get keys to that gate." Hold up, you're requiring me to park my boat there, but you're not giving me access to my boat? All you have to do is call the park maintenance guy when you need to get something out, and he'll come open it up. Now, I tried to argue with her about how inconvenient that is for literally everyone involved, and how it'd be so much simpler to just make a bunch of copies of the key and sign one over to each person who has to keep something there. Hell, let me borrow the key right now, and I'll go down to the hardware store and I will pay to get my own copy made. You could even make us all sign for the keys, with a fee if we lose it. Sir, we don't do that for security reasons. If there are multiple keys floating around out there, anyone could get access to your boat. I decided to ignore how stupid that was, since if my boat was in my driveway where I really wanted it, anyone could get access to it, and that's what tongue locks are for. I smiled and said, "You know what? You're right. I wasn't thinking clearly. Please give me the phone number for the maintenance guy, and I will just give him a call when I need to get my boat out." I went home and checked the weather for the weekend. Warm, sunny, and calm all Sunday. Sounds like a perfect day for fishing. And you know what? I want to make the most out of my fishing trip, so I'm going to get an early start. I woke up at 5 in the morning, got myself all ready, packed my gear into the back of my truck, and drove on over to the trailer lot. I then called the maintenance guy, who answers with a groggy and clearly still half asleep, "Hello?" Me with my best crap-eating chipper voice, "Good morning. I was told to call you to get my trailer out of the lot." "It's like 5 in the morning. You're going to have to wait." "No, sir. I've got things to do today and I need to get an early start, so I'm going to need to get into that lot now." He with a noticeable irritation in his voice, "Give me 5 minutes." About 10 minutes later, he pulls up to the gate, very visibly disgruntled about the whole thing. I just give him a smile and say, "Good morning." As he's unlocking the gate, he says, "You need your trailer to move tree limbs or something?" "Oh no, my boat's on it and I need it for fishing." "That couldn't wait until a decent hour?" "No. My life doesn't revolve around your sleep schedule. Of course, if I had my own key to this gate, you wouldn't need to be here at all." I had a great day fishing. When I got back, the lock was no longer locked and I never saw a lock on it again. Here's an edit to be clear. Part of the reason I didn't feel too horrible about inconveniencing the maintenance guy is because he was already on my bad side after a run-in about a year earlier when he tried to steal my wife's parrot cage, and he was generally just useless at his job as a maintenance man anyway. This incident wasn't his fault, and he didn't deserve my malicious compliance in this case, but I'm also not losing any sleep over it. Story number 2. Want me to flip up some girl's life? Back in 2007, I was involved in a traffic accident on the I-95, I-695 ramp in Baltimore. Traffic went from the speed limit of 55 miles per hour to a dead stop around the curve of the exit in a space of 500 feet, and it had just started raining. I and my Honda Accord managed to stop literal inches from the person in front of me's bumper. I had enough time to have half a sigh of relief before I was rear-ended so hard that the can of tea in my waist-level console cup holder wound up splattered all over the windshield. I get out of the car and the person who hit me is literally crying blood. She's driving a Saturn that is at least a decade old, and the ancient airbag broke her nose and blacked both of her eyes. She's also crying for real because this is her only transportation. I go flip, grab an umbrella out of my now weirdly shaped back seat, and hold it over her while she sobs. She explains her brakes had been locking up lately and she was literally on her way to the mechanics and tries to text her boyfriend to pick her up. She's crying so hard that she drops her phone twice, and then a cop shows up. Some Baltimore cops are bastards, so this one writes this girl a ticket about failure to control speed to avoid an accident and reckless endangerment and half a dozen other BS things. To where the ticket would literally cost more than a new car and she might get her license revoked and or jail time. She's hysterical. I talk to her, reassure her it's not her fault, and manage to swap insurance info. Fast forward 2 months. I had mild whiplash, but I'm healed up and mostly good regarding the accident. I have a new car and everything. I get a notice in the mail that I am requested to be a witness for this poor girl's trial for her ticket. Don't have to show, but it'd be nice. Flip if I'm gonna let a cop roast her. I was asked, so I'm taking a day off work to show up. I turn up in court dressed in my civil servant best. I was working for the state government at the time, so however staid you imagine, multiply it by 3. And I even toss on some makeup to impress the judge. I wait 3 hours for her hearing because hell if I'm gonna accidentally be late. The cop goes first, making up a bunch of BS about how recklessly she was driving to have hit me in an accident. He was probably 10 miles away from witnessing from his response time. Then the judge calls me and I stand up. The cop looks this weird combo of surprised Pikachu and pissed, like he didn't expect me to show. The poor girl was already crying and starts crying more. So I get to the stand, get sworn in and tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So I say that we were going exactly the speed limit. I know because I checked my speedometer in surprise that there wasn't more traffic, that she was following a proper distance behind me because I'd checked my rear view mirror and she was a ways off, that it had just started raining after a dry week, so the road was greasy as flip, and I knew that because I'd almost slid into the car in front of me, only saved by my car's anti-lock brake system. That her wheels had locked because I'd heard the screech and seen the skid marks, and that she definitely wasn't at fault because she was on her way to get her car's old anti-lock brake system fixed. I also mentioned that the cop didn't show up until 20 minutes later. I know this sounds like an and everyone clapped moment, but the judge did thank me for doing my civic duty and turning up, and I got a quick hug from the poor girl after the judge dismissed her charges. Anyway, some Baltimore cops are bastards, and if you can turn up in court to fight a traffic ticket, even someone else's, you should do so. This is John from /bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to be the first to know when the next one drops, then subscribe and make sure you click on the notifications bell so that YouTube will actually show you my videos. We would love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.